We're live, everybody. It's time. I should have turned this on an hour ago. I was making an Instagram post. I should have just turned it on while I was making the posts. I just live streamed me making the post because no one is going to tune into this for probably 15 or 20 minutes. Shout out to Adam S. and Bruce Halliday. Good morning, good afternoon. If you're watching this on your smart TV or whatever. I mean, I suppose, we're going to have to talk about the big invasion, the kidnapping, the black ops, the war. We're going to get into that shit. I got to throw in my 2 cents on that. I mean, not to say, I think the whole Trump presidency is just going to be one enlarging, ongoing, I told you so. And that's not really a happy thing. But here we are. What happens after Project 2025? Like, they fucked up our country. Trump's senile. He's got dementia. And they are releasing the Epstein files. It doesn't look good. Apparently, he killed his baby and dumped it in Lake Michigan. And so I wouldn't be surprised if Trump just invades the fucking whole planet. Well, I saw a map of like how they're going to carve it up among China, the United States, and I guess Russia, maybe, or it would be the other third. And so it definitely does seem like, I heard somebody talk about the Monroe Doctrine. The Monroe Doctrine, I think, says that basically the United States runs this fucking hemisphere and can do whatever they want. Let's look it up exactly. And that seems to be what Trump is all about. U.S. policy stating that the Americas were closed to European colonization and interference, establishing seven spheres of influence. There you go, spheres of influence. The Western Hemisphere was no longer open to future colonization by European. Only we can colonize this shit. This shit's ours. This is our bitch. These are all our bitches. We use these countries like they're like our wait staff or something. Like they're like supporting, like, oh, Venezuela. Well, we need their oil. We need. What I'm seeing is, let's see. So separate spheres. The Americas and Europe were distinct political systems. Okay, so maybe I was wrong about this. It's more about, I thought it was just like we run this shit, basically. But this kind of makes sense what it's saying. Seeds of the Monroe Doctrine. The blah, 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 blah. The interesting. Well, I don't know. I mean, I thought it was more about it's like Trump wants Greenland, right? He wants fucking Canada. Now he's all up in Venezuela's grabbing their ass. That was like a test, this bombing these fucking drug boats and shit. That was just like giving them a noogie or something. Like, oh, yeah. You want to fuck around with the United States? Apparently Venezuela is like, I heard it's the most resource-rich country like in the fucking world. Not only oil, but other things. And they've always been, right, like most recently Hugo Chavez. Wasn't he the head of Venezuela? He was sort of like a thorn in the craw of the United States, because they're socialist, or the Maduro guy's a dictator, who the fuck knows? I mean, apparently their country is, it's like Saddam Hussein or whatever, obviously. And so that's the justification a lot of people are using, right? It's like, what's better without this guy? We just went in and snatched his ass. Ta-da! Basically to imply to all the other world leaders, like, don't try anything or this will happen to you. Crazy old fucking senile Trump will send the fucking SEAL Team 6 or whatever, the Tom Clancy Rainbow Six crew, to fucking disappear your ass. But Maduro seems like he's just like living it up. Maduro's like in jail with Luigi and Diddy. It's like every video I see of Maduro, he's like, trolling. I guess he's like Razor Ramon or something. He knows how to play the heel. He knows how to. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't look like he's having that bad of a time. I don't know. I don't know what apparently Jitty jail is like not great. I mean, Epstein killed himself, supposedly. He took the short way home. Is how he put it in his fake letter that the government wrote. No, it's not a fake letter. It's real. I do think that was real. Yeah. So I don't know. I guess, by the time I do this, all the hot takes have already been taken. Just rehashing all the things people already said. But, I mean, this is what Hitler did. Like they said in To Be or Not to Be, we want peace. We want peace. We want a little piece of Poland. We want a little piece of Czechoslovakia. We want a little piece of Italy. We want a little piece of France. We want a little piece of Venezuela. We want a little taste. This is our fucking corner now. We're running this shit. We're just going to run their country for a little while. I mean, I think this is Project 26. I think Trump is like, you know what? I'm the chosen one. I'm going to die. I think he sees the fucking writing in the wall. I think he'd love to go out with a big bomb, a big, beautiful bomb. He'd love to just drop a big, I mean, those mushroom clouds, they're majestic, aren't they? So, I mean, this is what we said. We said Trump was not going to be like a peacenik. He's not Ringo. Trump hates war, right? That's what Bill Maher fucking always says. Trump hates war. He hates it. I know. I had dinner with him. I mean, we'll see where this goes. Maybe it won't be a fucking war. Maybe maybe it was just like caught him by surprise, definitely. Caught their ass by fucking surprise. I'm sure, because it's illegal. No one expected the president to break the fucking law. Well, I don't know. I mean, it's, I guess it's not anything the United States hasn't done before. The CIA overthrowing Chile or whatever. That's how they justify it. The cynical, craven right wing. This country's done a lot of bad things, so let's do some more. Let's use that as justification to do some more. We got to fucking go. So apparently Venezuela, the deal is, right, and I don't understand this at all, but this is something Kuzu Daddy would talk about a lot, was the BRICS country and the petrodollar. He was talking about this like a couple fucking years ago, the mighty petrodollar, right? And the deal is all of the Saudis and all of our friends in the Middle East, they buy their oil, whatever, with like the US dollar is the currency exchange. So that's how we're able to take on all this debt to buy all these weapons and blow all this money and run up this fucking tab, because I don't understand it. I don't get it, but this is the explanation, is like they use our money and they're trading, and so that makes our money the fucking number one currency that kind of is the heavyweight champion of all the fucking currencies. But there's, the sun is setting on the American empire, and people seem stoked about it. I mean, that I've talked about, that was the thing that the woke people and the right wing seem to like have in common. It's just like America sucks. American empire, we don't want wars. We don't want these fucking like imperialistic, and it's like, so anyway, they're starting to trade. I think maybe Venezuela was like sort of on the fence or something. And so the idea is we had to go in there and just take it over as sort of like a hostile takeover, and just sort of like subsuming it under the umbrella of American economic support infrastructure, because we couldn't have them go to the BRICS countries or whatever. Iran doesn't trade in US dollar, and I don't know, Russia probably doesn't, or I don't know exactly why that's fucking significant. Why it's but the BRICS countries, what is it? Brazil, Russia, Iran, China, and I don't know what the S is for. Not Syria. It can't be Syria. In any case, they're the evil axis. They're the axis of evil. South Korea? North Korea? No, it can't be. What does the S in BRICS stand for? Let's look it up. Does it stand for anything? See, this is learning, people. India. Did I say India? South Africa. Oh, okay. India, China. I said Iran. It's India. Well, fuck. Now I don't understand it all. What the fuck? Well, anyway, they're against us. I think. They're trying to steal our fucking... What is the next world currency? Is it going to be fucking crypto? Is it going to be Chinese money? The American dollar is going to be toilet paper. It already kind of is. I mean, when this country does collapse, which is possible, like the Soviet Union or something, it'll be a mess. It'll be a real mess. A lot of people will get super rich, and there will be huge inflation. Well, there already is. I mean, it really is frustrating, because like in this is another thing that, like, this is not even like crossing a line. Oh, it's obviously it's the fucking anniversary of January 6th. 5 years since January 6th, or is it 5 years? Yeah. It's unbelievable that that guy was reelected or even allowed to run for president. What a great country. You can violently try to overthrow the government and still be elected in the next election freely and fairly, supposedly. Democracy. All you have to do is play some Village People songs and fake an assassination attempt and kill your baby after it's alive and rape a bunch of underage, like, little girls. It's like there's never like a bridge too far for the MAGA people. There's never a point where they're like, you know what? They just don't believe any of it. They think that all of it is just like Democrat. The Democrats are doing the same shit, and they just hate Trump. They got Trump derangement syndrome. All they do is just Trump. Trump's bad. Orange man bad. Orange man bad. That's all we fucking hear from the libtards. Orange man bad. It's like, yeah, because he's bad. Like he said, smart people don't like me. We are smart, okay? The Mamdani people, I'm sorry, they're snobs, they're assholes, they're well educated. They should just let them make the decisions for the most part. It'll be better for everybody. The Trump people would be better off if they just let the libtards run everything. There doesn't even need to be politics, honestly. There don't really need to be elections. Just get a bunch of libtards in there. The government, it should just be understood what it does. The government is socialism. It's economic wealth redistribution. That's what the government should fucking do. It should take resources and make sure that the society functions well for fucking everybody, for as many people as possible. Well, this is something right with the Mamdani campaign. He said this in his speech, which I didn't watch. Something about we're gonna turn away from like the harsh, rugged individualism to the warmth of empathy and team. Well, let me get the exact quote. Mamdani, rugged individualism and like team kind of spirit or something. Let's see. Collectivism, warm collectivism. The warmth, oh, here you go. American Enterprise Institute. The warmth of collectivism is a dangerous fantasy. That's a think tank, everybody. It's amazing these think tanks, very little thinking goes on. It's all just ramming fucking uh I gotta say, Mamdani's first couple speeches and shit have been kind of cringe. I don't think his speechwriters are that good. They're kind of cringe. The cramped kitchens in Flushing and barber shops in East New York. Okay. And libraries in El Barrio. He's reaching for that Obama kind of elocution. The performers who have gifted us. I want to see. Couldn't Mamdani have rapped his inauguration? I want to see him rap. We need a rapping. I mean, look at what Trump is doing. You either gotta be a rapper or a comedian, like Bulworth, right? Bulworth is a rapper, or Jesse Jackson, or Johnny Cochran. Bulworth was a rapper, so I mean, Mamdani. Oh my God, this is a long ass fucking speech. Where is the shit? I didn't watch it. I'm not gonna. I mean, it's long. He should have rapped it. I mean, I don't know. Mamdani's. See, there's already articles about Mamdani's collectivism is no slip of the tongue. Critics say Mamdani's Fox News. Critics say Mamdani's vow to swap rugged individualism. Let's read the Fox News article. Oh, there's one in the Wall Street Journal too for the smart, evil Republicans. For the smart, rich, evil Republicans. Freshly inaugurated New York City Mayor Zoran Mamdani, a self-described democratic socialist, promoted collectivism. We will replace the frigidity of rugged individualism with the warmth of collectivism. Okay. And Americans, that's a Fox News talking point right there. We have a problem with that. This fucking country was built on rugged individualism. You have Islam, Muslim. Sorry, everybody. I don't mean to reiterate hate speech, but I think there's still a lot of anti-Islamic sentiment. I mean, definitely on Twitter. If it's not in America, it's gonna come here. I mean, 9/11 was an early progenitor of that, but like, uh, the warmth of collectivism. I mean, that doesn't. You can kind of have both. I don't necessarily. I do think that there has been a lot of fucking uh propaganda about this so-called rugged individualism in this country. A lot of people here think they are self-made. Our whole economic system is based on this sort of like individualistic, competitive And these people are not well made. They all have rich parents or famous parents. And so they have to believe in their own rugged individualism because they're selfish. They don't want to fucking be a part of a collective. They already have all the toys. They were born with all the fucking toys. They don't want to share. They want more toys. They want to be able to have sex with their own daughter. They want to be, they want to break the law. That's the only fun they can get is by doing bad shit. And, it's good that a nepo baby like Mamdani is using it to help everybody. I think it'll work. I do think that this is the time and the place, and he pushes. I can't wait for these free buses. February, end of February. I'm already riding the bus. Save me $3 every trip on my personal limousine. Um, so it's interesting to see Mamdani kind of ascendant, the warmth of collectivism, anyone, and Trump perhaps. Trump is like fucking Star Wars or something. It's like, well, he might die, but Jesus Christ, he's just Anakin or whatever. He's the emperor. There's still like going to be generations of dark side kind of fucking Donald Jr. or JD Vance or Barron Trump, Ivanka Trump. They're everywhere. These goddamn family tree. And nobody's going to blow their heads off like the Kennedys. Until the United States has its like Nuremberg moment, which could be a long way off. Remember, Kamala was the war hawk. Kamala was the one who was going to kill all the Palestinians. Kamala was the one who was going to cause World War III because of Ukraine, or we started that war. The Democrats, Biden started those fucking wars. Biden's fault. He's sending aid. He's sending fucking aid to fucking these people that were attacked. Who's ever heard of such a thing? The United States? Oh my God, sending weapons to people. It's like, that's what the fuck we do. It's like, I do think that like World War II, right, created this idea in people's heads like the United States was the heroes. We saved the fucking world, right? We stopped the Nazis. We intervened. Maybe that's just American propaganda. And Israel was sort of looked on as like part of this, you know, righteous apology after, the horrific things that happened in World War II. Dude, if you watch NWA wrestling from the 80s, the biggest fucking, they have all these flags that are hanging from the ceiling in their like studio. The biggest fucking flag is the Israeli flag. That's NWA wrestling out of fucking Georgia. With a big Israeli flag right in the middle of every fucking show. Because to some degree, I think at that time it was looked on as like the right thing to do, or I guess that was the mask for the imperialism. We needed a military base there, a colony there. And the Christians needed a new fucking foothold, and uh and so like, a lot of the interference or like having military bases around the world I think after World War II, I don't necessarily think America was looked on as like, maybe I'm wrong about this. Maybe this is like not the people's history of the United States or whatever, but like the propaganda was like America was sort of like the good guy. Like we came to the rescue. There was sort of an aspiring to like do good in the American character. Whether it's things like fucking Gary Cooper or Henry Fonda or, you know, real Jimmy Stewart. And then, the anti-hero and conscientiousness about whatever American imperialism abroad, corporate business. This is just another banana republic thing. That's what this seems like to me with Trump. It's like the United Fruit Company or whatever. It's like we want what they have in South America. We're bullies. We're huge. What the fuck are they going to do about it? They can't do shit. We're going to go in and run their fucking country. We're just going to blow up fucking fishing boats. We're going to blow up the goddamn banana boat. From outer space. A Fox News anchor is going to blow up, innocent, the old man in the sea. It's fucking comedic almost. It's like a fucking Looney Tunes cartoon. See him blowing up and like holding onto the like ship in the middle of the ocean. Ay ay ay. And who knows? Is this going to escalate? Is it over? Like, did we won? We won the war without firing a shot? Is that what happened? We just went in and snatched that motherfucker like a bear trap. Yeah, that's what we'll do to you, fucking Xi Jinping or fucking Ayatollah, Asahola, Supreme Leader, fucking whoever you are. You are not beyond the reach of fucking Jesse the Body Ventura and the fucking Dan Bilzerian Navy SEALs. The real deep state. They're gonna send Carl Weathers and fucking Schwarzenegger. They're gonna send Tom Cruise for your ass. He's gonna be holding on to the side of a fucking plane. You won't even know. You won't even fucking know it happened. You'll be in jail with Luigi Mangione. You'll wake up in the Epstein cell. That's the power Trump has. Who's he gonna? I mean, if he's gonna do that to a foreign leader, that means he can do it to any of us, really. And that's how they're gonna work, I guess. They're just gonna ice anybody. That's what ICE is already doing, I guess. It was sort of like an ICE operation in a way. To sneak these motherfuckers in there, these special teams people or whatever the hell. The Obama squad, the Osama bin Laden squad. Send in American Sniper. Whatever the fuck that guy's name was. Send in Bradley Cooper. We will fucking American Sniper your ass. We'll make a Clint Eastwood movie about it. Clint Eastwood will direct a movie about Maduro and the justice that was served that day. It's like Cobra. To me, it's like Cobra, right? This is exactly like Cobra, where it's like the whole conceit of Cobra was just a great film. It was one of my favorite films in high school. I recommend it to everybody. Cobra, Sylvester Stallone. I think Arthur P. Cosmostis or Stallone wrote the script. It's like the most Reagan out narc. There was a lot of heavy right wing propaganda in the fucking Reagan era. And all of that shit. Schwarzenegger movies, Stallone movies. All of it was very American Ninja movies, Michael Dudikoff, video games. Have you ever played Narc? Every fucking video game started with an FBI fucking warning from George Bush. It literally started with like the FBI fucking logo in like 16-bit, like they animated that shit pixel by pixel. The J. Edgar Hoover fucking Untouchables. The eagle with the so anyway, Cobra, right? The whole premise of Cobra is that there's these real bad guys out there. They have knives. There's a whole montage of them with their fucking knives and their axes and shit. And the idea is Cobra is being held back by like the pussy rules and regulations of like the police have to play by the rules. The bad guys can break the law. They can do whatever the fuck they want. But like if you're a cop and you break the law, it's like you're going to jail. You're the bad guy. And so the laws are holding him back, really. Cobra could clean this dirt off the fucking streets. And that's what we really need. We really just need to arrest all these scumbags. All these MS-13, Tren de Aragua. Send in fucking the Expendables. Get Jason Statham and Jean-Claude Van Damme and Steven Seagal and all of the other has-beens and John Cena and Harrison Ford and Kevin Costner and Kelsey Grammer and Rhea Ripley. Throw some women in there. Let's get Pam Grier in the Expendables, for Christ's sake. Send them down and just clean it all up. Just take all of them. Let's just take them over. Fuck them all. We're running wild over the Western Hemisphere. I mean, Colombia, you're next. The Colombian dictators like fucking like talking shit, talking trash. You want to go through a fucking table, bitch? We'll throw you off the Hell in the Cell. We'll throw you through the fucking Hell in the Cell, bitch. We have somebody more evil than Vince McMahon running the country. Look at all the bad shit Vince McMahon did to people. Trump will fucking throw you in Lake Michigan, even though you're his own 1-year-old baby. That's how little Trump has probably chainsawed guys, I think. I think he's kind of into that shit. I mean, Scarface chainsawed guys. There was this, I mean, he was in the casino. Like, it's like Joe Pesci shit. I'm sure Trump had like a Joe Pesci guy. That was like his fucking, you know, his body man or whatever. His muscle. I'm sure he had Ivana whacked. I've talked about that before. She just died by falling down the stairs like mysteriously, and now she's buried on his fucking golf course. Like, that's fucking some fucked up shit. That is some dark shit. That's some dark humor right there. Let's just say that. That's some fucking black humor. Trump's real fucking funny, isn't he? And so, yeah, we're just going to fucking disappear your ass. Sheinbaum, you're next. Fucking Trudeau. Who's the prime minister? Rob Ford? Get all of them. Get the whole G6. Just whack them. Like fucking Michael Corleone. We need like a montage of Trump, like one of the babies getting baptized or something. Trump like eating the blood of like an infant, sucking the neck adrenochrome blood. Well, they're like whacking the fucking G6. We're taking them all out. Send in Hegseth. Get the Fox News people on this. Can we get Lawrence? Get Neil LaBute or what's that guy? Get me Lou Dobbs. Sir, Lou Dobbs died. I don't care. Give me Lou Dobbs. Get me Bill O'Reilly. I want Hannity. Get me Hannity. We're assassinating Combs. We're gonna torture Combs to death. I'm gonna kill Combs on television with a chainsaw. He was always such a pussy. I'm gonna mutilate Colbert live. Live in the Hell in the Cell. It's a real fucking horror show. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was silent but deadly. I mean, uh that's how Reagan, I mean, Reagan didn't really have wars. It was all these weird little, like, Iran Contra, or what was it, Grenada? Um, they had the CIA do shit. You know, who bitches more about the fucking CIA than, like, Rogan and all these people that now are like Trump people, like, release the Kennedy fucking assassination and tell us about the fucking aliens and all the other shit the CIA's been hiding. And it's like, they're the ones that use the fucking CIA. This was like some black ops, this wasn't a good old fashioned land invasion like Iraq and Afghanistan. I mean, are we going to occupy this country? Are we going to? They have a democratically elected president. There actually is a fucking person who should be the president. It seems to me like, gee, it's a no-brainer. That person should take over. They were elected. They're in Germany or some shit now because they were going to get fucking Maduro was going to do to them what Trump did to him. Probably. He was probably going to disappear their ass in the middle of the night. So the motherfucker, he got got. Motherfucker got before he could get the got. Before he could get. Before he could get getting. He got. Before he could get, he got. So he seems to have a sense of humor about it. He's a tall king, he's fucking the dictator. He's got a big old fucking Tom Selleck mustache. He was playing with house money anyway. These guys, they're just like anybody. They're fake. They're all imposters. Everybody is an actor playing the part of what they're trying to do. He's just a guy. Somehow he fucking bullshitted his way into being the dictator. That wasn't supposed to happen. He just fucking bullshitted his way in, like anybody. And so he got arrested. He's like, okay, whatever. Fucking, I was a dictator for a fucking pretty long time. Pretty cool. It was a wild ride. It was a good run. We had a good run, didn't we? So this is probably only the beginning. I think Trump is going to go for broke. I think this is just the beginning of the real Hitler shit. It's like we have been logically explaining to death. We've been mansplaining. My entire live stream, half of it has been dedicated to debunking and carefully dismantling the Trump lies. The PR machine is too strong. The Trump empire of fakery and manipulation and image control and viral scintillating content. He uses the dark side of the force. It's hard to say no to that shit. The high road takes forever, like Obama. It's not. Look at what happened to all the saints. They all get killed, shot full of arrows. They all get tortured to death, burned at the stake, crucified. Maybe that's just religious propaganda, but the evil people just eat McDonald's and fly in private jets and screw a bunch of fucking sex slaves. They really enjoy their time on planet Earth. And they're able to withstand the bodily decomposition that they endure. Trump somehow can eat fucking McDonald's for 80 goddamn years and, like, drink Diet Coke And like he's still, I mean, he's grotesque. He's like this big fucking like sack of fucking bile and puffy, he's like a Gila monster. He's got a big kind of inflatable sack. He's like "Rah, rah." The Trump inflatable sack is a big part of his reptilian. He's the king. He's like James Earl Jones and what's the Conan the Destroyer, the sequel to Conan the Barbarian. I didn't really see it. To me, that was the one. It was more like Dungeons and Dragons. Fucking Wilt Chamberlain's in it, and I forget who else. The Conan movies were actually pretty dope. Conan the Barbarian. But I remember was James Earl Jones in the first one or the second one? Maybe he was in the first one. Fuck. I guess he was in the first one where he gets his head cut off. He like becomes a giant snake. It's like that's Trump. That's 100% Trump. Trump is absolutely like the apex reptile on this planet. He is like he's like the giant fucking crocodile in Peter Pan. He is a giant. What last year was the dragon year. This year is the fire something. Fire. I don't know. There's a lot of action already. We got Mamdani condemning Trump, calling him personally. Mamdani's going to use that, that harassment power for good. He's going to use that. I mean, not to be stereotypical, but it does seem like people from that side of the world are a little more um, unafraid to just like, they're kind of strict on their kids. They're uh, not that Mamdani is, but or they're like, they're not afraid to like talk to the talk to the manager. They're kind of Karens, or I don't know. They're very uh they're unafraid to be bossy. They're unafraid to say no. They're unafraid to it's Patel. Glengarry has that racist humor about Patel. Fuck you. Um, they're particular. But it's for a good purpose. They're trying to like. It's like I don't know. It's like having boundaries. It's like being able to say no, being able to be critical and say the truth when something's bad or uh it's not about being from the Midwest, being super happy and enthusiastic and energetic and positive and yes anding. Uh so in any case, Mom Donnie, I think he's gonna be specific and um detailed and comprehensive about everything. His approach to policy, he's going to get smart people. I think there's going to be, wins and losses just like anything. You have to that's just part of doing anything. It's not always win 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 win. It's just like if you're committed to something, you stay at it and there's ups and downs. There's hills and valleys, there's wins and losses. That's why baseball is such a good conditioner for life because it's like if they're at best you'll bat 300. Now, there's nobody that bats 300 hardly. And so it's like not that you should strive for 3 out of 10 necessarily, but especially when you're going through stuff, there's all kind of personal complications and relationship kind of issues come up and friction and this and that. And so we're live from bed here. Um, there's sort of an objectivity to what remains after the fact. A lot of times you forget maybe, or you leave in the past the uh, personal issues or something, and you just have the kind of objective truth of like what happened. Uh, maybe I should eat this Chipotle. What the hell was I talking about? I had three people watching. I got one person. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. I think this has been pretty good. Maybe I've been nuts. Let me check my. Oh yeah, Mom Donnie's. Yeah. So with Mom Donnie, it's like may who knows? People. I mean, maybe he will be this fucking just like generational uh politician and save the world. I don't know. It's good that there's somebody fucking out there that's like on the side of the warmth of collectivism. They're definitely the last 20 years. There's been so much. Our generation, everyone has just everything is financialized. Everybody charges for everything. I was surprised. Donnie said something in his speech about unless we have affordable housing, we can't have people make great art, which I thought was kind of cringe. But it's nice to have the politicians understand that. For New York, it's all about real estate value now. That's why everything is so fucking expensive because property taxes are so fucking high because the property values are out of control because New York is this luxury asset. It's safe. White people come here, rich people from all over the world, they all want to be here. They buy shit, they buy buildings, they invest. They got to park their drug money, they got to park their oil money, they got to park their dirty money. They buy super tall shit. And the reason why New York is expensive is because it has this aura and this brand recognizability because of the culture generally. It's not only that, there's plenty of remarkable things that have happened in New York that are just not necessarily art. They're more maybe just like human fucking innovation or something. But a lot of people want to be here. A lot of sexy people want to come here to be artists because of fucking Edie Sedgwick or Andy Warhol or Blondie or the Talking Heads or even now Saturday Night Live. It's still this hive. Influencers live here, um, and so uh, in a weird way, New York still is like on the cutting edge of what is culturally relevant. I would say, I think if you're an influencer and you can choose to live wherever the fuck you want because you're making $10,000 a post or whatever, like, um, you probably are either going to be in New York or Paris at this point. That's how it seems to me. That seems to be where they all go, uh, or they're just backpackers or something. I don't know. So that is like the current culture. But I was reading this article about this, because Marty Supreme, I haven't seen it yet. I'm curious to see it just to form my own opinion about it. Um, I didn't necessarily, I saw Uncut Gems. I thought it was good. I didn't necessarily love it or anything. I'm not an adrenaline junkie movie person. So In a certain way, I suppose it's like a classic, or it was an imitation of classic. It's sort of like their Dog Day Afternoon or their, I guess there really isn't an equivalent. It's like a heist movie, and it's all about the suspense and creating these stakes that are just like the guy is like this gambling addict. So they're really heightening. It's sort of like an Abel Ferreira movie. Part of it is like the Safdies are trading on this like gritty, authentic New York kind of like br- residue, or that's sort of what Aronofsky's movie was about too. Caught Stealing was trying to do that, but that's Marty Supreme. They're saying it's sort of supposed to be about the old New York, and they're trying to rebuild this kind of like 50s Jewish Lower East Side. The casting is interesting. I will say I do like the way, because to me it's almost like Fellini or something. Like, you're picking people with interesting looks. And it's all, like, if you they can say the lines, they don't necessarily have to be great actors. It's like Kevin O'Leary, or he put Katsimatidis, the guy who owns fucking Gristetti's and all these right wing. He's a billionaire. He's extremely right wing. He owns all these AM right wing. I think he owns WOR 1010 Wins. So he's like a New York player, but he's completely like a billionaire, evil, you know, poisoning the political atmosphere with just like his lies and propaganda and stench and toxic waste of endless fucking just brainwashing. He's in Marty Supreme because he's got a great look. He looks like a big fat fucking, he looks like he owns a big and tall store from the 40s or something. So it's like I like that directors are doing that rather than just like, I hate to say it, but actors look too actory. They all look the same. They all look like, you know, kind of, they have biceps and maybe like traps, but like they're not really like super jacked. They are brunettes. They're sort of chiseled-ish. They all look like Tom Cruise and like, Top Gun or something. They look like clones of that. That's just not like a knockoff. Or and they dress generic. The way they present themselves is very generic, which ironically I just don't think is marketable. I think you need to have something very specific. Directors can say they you're giving it all to them. You're saying you are bringing the character. So much of the way your character is communicated on screen is visual, the outfit, the way you move, whatever the hell it is. You're not talking a lot of the time. And so if you cast somebody that like Rowdy Roddy Piper, or somebody that their look tells a story. Fellini would cast these people that, because he was a cartoonist, right? Fellini started out as a cartoonist, and the Jay Kelly movie. We watched Jay Kelly. It was not good. I mean, it was okay. It was for what it was. Just it was very dad movie, and it was corny, man. It just ripped off Eight and a Half, La Dolce Vita. Uh, It was just a bunch of rip-offs of different stuff. There's a point where homage Citizen Kane, a little bit of Bogdanovich in there. Um, there's a whole train thing, so it's sort of like a Wim Wenders, like Wes Anderson train movie. Uh, and I mean, I don't like George Clooney anymore. Whatever capital George Clooney had as like a aura aura farming is kind of evaporated. He's just kind of a douchebag. And his thing about Joe Biden not recognizing him, he really pushed for Biden to get yanked. And it's like, I understand why people felt that way, but that wasn't really the conversation that needed to be had. I think if Joe Biden was the president now, we'd be better off. I'd switch him right now. I think Joe Biden would be more cognitively sharp and responsible. Maybe he couldn't fucking FDR was practically fucking brain dead, like toward the end of his goddamn presidency. He'd been president for, 12 fucking years. He had goddamn polio. He'd been through the Great Depression and World War II, for Christ's sakes. Like, the president is a figurehead. Ronald Reagan was fucking brain dead the second toward the end of his shit. He wasn't all there. Like, it's not unusual to have a leader who has fucking shit for brains, okay? We should be used to it by now. They're ahead of an administration. At least he wouldn't have tore down half the fucking White House. Jesus Christ. Where was that in the fucking campaign ad? He didn't mention that when he was on fucking Rogan or fucking Aiden Ross or Theo Vaughn or any of the other shit he was on, Andrew Schultz. Where the fuck these guys should have been grilling his ass. They played softball with him. They made him look funny. It was just like he was on Access Hollywood. He's done a million goddamn interviews. Oh yeah, yeah. I love what they're doing. I love Kanye. He's so funny. He's working at McDonald's. He's so fucking funny. We need at least he's funny. He might call, and Biden is going to cause World War III. I'm sorry. He's a war hawk. The DNC, they fucked Bernie over. It's just amazing. The Republicans' messaging. They really do. I heard this thing about in the 70s or something. And I think you kind of see this in California politics. They were talking to these guys who were like establishment guys because the hippies were sort of taking over and liberal ideals and this and that. And the right wing people, like, all they did was kind of donate to like politicians and this and that to kind of like sort of influence the elections, but not really. Like, they weren't that involved. They felt kind of helpless. And I'm being very vague about this. I don't remember the exact video what it was about, but it was like the gist of it was they went to him and they said, "Look, you can keep spending a little bit of money on these politicians, but like you just need to go in and just like take over all of this shit and control all of this shit because you have the money. You could easily take over and get the power. And like, this doesn't need to be a democracy. America with it doesn't need to have social security, doesn't need to have you don't need to pay all these taxes. Like, you just spend Koch brothers or whatever, you spend the money, you get your fucking people, you get Ronald Reagan, you get fucking George Bush, head of the CIA, by the way. Literally, he was the head of the fucking CIA. He was the right, but the Republicans miraculously managed to distance themselves from the Iraq war. That was their whole platform. Was like, we don't want another war abroad. We're not interventionists. That's what George Bush said in 2000. We're not going to do nation building. So like they lie. Surprise, surprise. They talk out of one side of their mouth and they do the opposite. It's what they do every fucking time. But their propaganda machine is just too fucking strong. There's too many goddamn stand-up comedians who fucking are doing their work for them. And it's everybody. It's fucking people on Twitter. I remember hearing a conversation on the goddamn train shortly before the election. Some people were taking the train back to Brooklyn, white people, but they were probably from fucking Nashville or something. And they were flirting. I think the guy just started a conversation with these chicks. I don't even think he knew them. And they were sort of flirting, and he started sitting next to him, and they were talking about who they voted for. And he was like, but But he's like, I voted, but I can't say who it is. And she was like, yeah, me too. And it was sort of this thing that they shared was like they were these secret Trumpers. And these are like 25-year-old kids going back to fucking Fort Greene or something. And that's how you know the gentrification has gone too fucking far. I mean, that's how effective the goddamn propaganda was. You know, the D and the the DNC just is is controlled opposition, I suppose, but I think they're just tone deaf. I think they're lame. I think they just don't have like even Obama, doesn't really have like he's a likable guy, but he's even like too kind of well spoken and highfalutin for this country. He's still kind of this awkward, he's still kind of better than, he's snobby or something. There's something about him that's like elitist and like, even though Trump is a billionaire and has an own goddamn plane and has been his whole fucking life, he somehow because he worked at McDonald's. He did a photo op at fucking McDonald's one time. Was get tell his ass to get back in the McDonald's. He campaigned in a McDonald's. I want to see Trump back at the motherfucking making hash browns at fucking 8 a.m. He's such a man of the people. Get your fucking ass back to the McDonald's and make me some chicken nuggets, bitch. You look like sweet and sour sauce, motherfucker. You look like a chicken nugget. You look like a fucking chicken nugget dipped in sweet and sour sauce. You're going to cause World War III, asshole. Best case scenario, they go in and like ice a couple motherfuckers and just like steal Kim Jong Un or something. I don't know. Can they go get Putin? Go get Putin. Go get Trump's little lover boy. They need a little sleepover together. They need a little golden shower party on the island. Oh, apparently, so Epstein's jet. Did I talk about this? His jet was used for like the Iran Contra. It was used to like transport military supplies to like the Middle East for the United States. The Lolita Express, because he had like a faint. The reason why so many people used his jet was because it was like a fucking 737. It wasn't like one of these little Gulf Streams or whatever. It wasn't some little bitch ass private jet. It's like he literally had like a fucking like commercial airliner, like he's Led Zeppelin or something. He's the Led Zeppelin. Well, they had sex with 13-year-olds too, I guess. So that's one thing he had in common. It wasn't that rare. In the 70s, man, everybody had a fucking jumbo jet and fucked teenagers. Everyone was on quaaludes and roofing people. It was just the mating ritual, man. So that's why there's all these incels, man. Bring back the quaaludes. Bring back the leg spreaders. It's crazy to hear boomers talk about the 70s. We had these pills called leg spreaders. You just take a handful of anything. What the hell are they? Just give them to me. I'm just going to take it. What the fuck? I guess that's what people do with ketamine and shit now, or Molly, or give me some of those Black Betties. Give me some uppers. Give me some soapers. Give me some downers. I need some speed pills. The Beatles were on speed. Elvis was on speed. They were all on fucking speed. It never would have happened. The 60s never would have happened if they weren't all on fucking speed. How do you think we got to the moon? On speed. That's why people don't understand. People can't comprehend that we went to the moon. It's like, yeah, everybody was on speed. Okay? It's like if everybody was on crystal meth now. We'd be on Mars already. We'd be on fucking Jupiter. If everybody was on fucking instead of stupid ketamine. I don't get the ketamine thing. I've never done it. No, not interested. I do not get it. I think our generation just like wanted their own drug. Like zillennials, like they need Bushwick people like need their own drug to feel special. So it's like, okay, it's ketamine. I'm spiraling. It's so based. I feel like I'm in a Safdie Brothers movie. I'm Robert Pattinson in fucking Good Time. Is he on speed in that movie? I didn't really like the guy that played retarded. In Good Time, it's like one of the Safdie brothers is like doing like he's full retard. I hate to fucking like use the line from Tropic Thunder, but he's full retard. I'm just like, I'm not watching this. This guy's the co-director. No, I'm sorry. That's just not done. It's simply not done. That's just not a you can't do that. You're directing a movie with your brother and you're gonna play a retarded character that's like one of the main characters. Like, I am sorry. That's no. I'm offended. Get a retarded person. Like fucking the Farrelly brothers did. They cast retarded people in their movies. I think that's good. Fuck you. You're taking a job away from a retarded actor. Get Corky. Get Corky from 30 something, god damn it. He's been out of work since the 90s. We love Corky. Food eating is fun, eating is delicious. Eating is fun, eating is serious. I'm going to look it up right now. Have you heard Corky from fucking 30 something singing? This is something we used to listen to in high school. I suppose it's very politically incorrect. Eating is fun. I can't play this. Chris Burke is the guy's name. I just look for yourself. Okay, I'm not going to play it on the air, but just find it for yourself. Do yourself a favor. It's sort of like Wesley Willis. Some of the best music, honestly, has been made by retarded people. I like Wesley Willis. I not that he's retarded, but he is so much. So anyway, I find that in very poor taste. Let's just say that. I mean, maybe I'm nitpicking. That was in 2017. How in God's name did they? That's so based. How did they get away with that? Are the Safdie brothers based? I heard somebody say something about like their coke. They're like private school coke dealers. That's their energy. Good for them. You know, they're a story I think that Hollywood wants. Their brothers. There's a tradition of Cohen brothers, Marx brothers. They kind of fit in with, and they're cinema kind of like encyclopedias. They've been filmmakers for a long time in New York. They've worked their way through a lot of projects. They've kind of like maybe been proteges of a lot of people. They're actors, so they turn up in a lot of stuff. Uh, I don't know. I think they are like are they Zionists? Like what is their stance on that? Because they do feel like industry plants a little bit to me. I mean, they do seem like that's what people think is cool and edgy, and so I get it. Like, you know, I get young, sexy people probably want to like these movies. It's like they're adrenaline, you know, packed. They're almost like horror movies in that they really surprise the audience and make you feel things, and they're just like thriller almost. Um, but they're aesthetic. They have a visual sense and the texture of the surface of the movie. They get that. I that's why I want to see Marty Supreme. I just want to. I didn't see the Smashing Machine. Maybe I should watch that. Christopher Nolan said The Rock's performance was like the best he'd seen, and but I don't know. It seems like a little bit. David Mamet's in it. I want to see it just for that. Just the fact that David Mamet's in the fucking movie. I like that, but I mean, Mamet is like a huge goddamn Trumper Zionist. So is that what the Safdies are telling us by casting goddamn Kevin O'Leary and goddamn Mamet and Katsimatidis? It's like they're all Trumper Zionists. Like, and Adam Sandler. I mean, I did find Uncut Gems to be like condescending to Goy. Let's just put it that way. Like the Adam Sandler character. Well, Julia Fox is like his piece of ass, and she's a Goy, and she's sort of dumb and just hot, and he just screws her in like this apartment he has, and like he does, he doesn't really respect her. She's like Shik's a goddess or something, and I don't know, like, not that it's any of my fucking business, but like Jewish guys will marry Gentiles. Like David Berman was married to his wife was Catholic. I was watching this documentary about David Berman in Israel. It's on YouTube. There's a Silver Jews documentary on YouTube. I'm like, oh, that's crazy. They made a documentary about the Silver Jews. It's on fucking YouTube for free. I didn't even know this existed. I watch it. It's all about their trip to Israel. Which I don't really necessarily have a problem with, but it puts things in an interesting perspective right now. But David Berman was like a holy. His words had weight. He was sort of a Gen X Leonard Cohen in a way for Americans. And the David Berman Day was the other day. It was super fun. So he's on the mind. It was his birthday on Sunday. So we're always celebrating David Berman. He's getting stronger. His work is only becoming more necessary and canonical in a way. He splits a nice difference between academia and avant-garde. He went to an MFA program. He's got the James Tate thing, but he also appreciates Ashbery, and he worked the Frick, and he's sort of a jammy noise musician almost in certain ways. He's a country gentleman. He's debonair. He's classy. He's elegant in a way. But I think he took Judaism very. I mean, his band is called Silver Jews, and I think he took Judaism very seriously. His blog, Menthol Mountains, had a lot of things from the Torah or like kind of rabbinical stories. I think that's one reason why he was as powerful as he was as a performer and as a presence and as a writer. He was looking at it in sort of a scriptural way. And I think he took life seriously in that way. And poetry was sort of an avenue of expression and sacred language that you draw a lot of pleasure from and enriches and kind of yeah, you know the band Silver Jews, right? Or David Berman. That's what they're called. That's what they're called. I mean, like I said, not that it's any of my business. Um, and I don't mean to make a commentary or, it suddenly has become everybody's business. Everybody's got an opinion about Israel and Zionism and this and that. And it's like, I suppose as an American, you have to, have an opinion because you are involved in a way, but um I don't Uh, I love Jewish people. Most of my friends are Jewish, and they're great people. They're friendly. They're smart. They care. They have issues with the fucking American empire and shit too. And I'm sure David Berman did. Um, a lot of his work, his dad was like a tobacco lobbyist and like a Washington lobbyist. So I think David Berman felt like a sense of he needed to atone for all of the damage. He was a very conscientious citizen. He did look at Menthol Mountains. I mean, he had a blog. He literally had a blog spot after the Silver Jews ended. That's what their name is. They ended kind of in 2009 or 10 or something. Before Purple Mountains, he had a blog called Menthol Mountains. And literally, he just like copied and pasted shit that he liked. Or it was like links to weird videos. It's probably still up, to be honest. And I read it like regularly while it was happening. 2012, I remember reading goddamn Menthol Mountains because he was very politically attuned. He was always commenting on whatever was going on. And I generally agreed. He always had a smart, you know, point of view. Uh, and so I thought it was cool for somebody like that who's a musician. I mean, David Berman has been a huge, influence for me. The way he dresses is cool. His music, the way he writes lyrics. Holy Smokes was heavily influenced by Silver Jews. In the way that it was sort of like a postmodern Americana or like an avant-garde country band or rock and roll, rockabilly. Rockabilly garage country, alt country, alt country, avant country and western, avant honky tonk band. And, Actual Air, the thing is, his poems have a lot of composure. They have a lot of form. Every syllable is nailed the hell down perfectly. And he's funny, but he's super contemporary. David Berman is able to talk about the modern landscape in a way that dignifies it, but also understands its cheesiness and its flimsiness and its kind of like fabricated hollowness. Ads everywhere. I was reading this thing. It was Jean Baudrillard, and he was talking about in America, we have like the first and the third planes of like structure, but we don't have the second. Like we have the wildness of like the natural landscape, America, like fucking the Wild West, even Tennessee, was like this wild fucking place when we first went there, Davy Crockett and shit. The wild kindness, right? David Berman, reach out in the wild kindness. That's American, nature, transcendentalism. But then we have the third level, which is like freeways, fast food, mall culture, which is fake as fuck. It's not really culture, it's business, and it's sort of like dehumanized. It's pure commerce, it's pure capitalism. It's just we just threw it up really fast. It didn't develop over thousands of years like Europe. He's like in Europe, we have the second level. It's like churches, culture, villages, towns, whatever. It's an actual place. Europe is like organic. It developed through centuries and centuries of settlements growing through technology and time and whatnot. But then in the same place, United States is like a tent we threw up. It's like a pop-up. It's like we just got here, basically. It's not that old. And all the shit that we did build is like super fucking tacky. But that is America. America is McDonald's. America is fucking Toys R Us. It is Dolly Parton. It is, Porter Wagner. It is fucking Ted Nugent. David Berman understood both of those levels. He understood hair metal and goth music and Prince and the 80s. He was young in the fucking 80s. So he was like Robert Smith or something. He had big hair, poofy black hair and shit. So it's like Reagan era, maniacal, capitalistic, American, patriotic, back when this country really had still some fucking gunpowder. Now it's like we're sort of a parody. We're like Elvis. We become this fat self parody that's about to die. We're all puffed up on fucking opioids and McDonald's and cheeseburger, peanut butter, fried banana, bacon. Uh, you know, what were those sandwiches with the chicken that was the bun? That was the end of America right there. I mean, we could have predicted Trump just from that. The whatever that KFC sandwich was, that like they literally just took the bun and they took the sandwich out of it and they just made the meat the sandwich, which is everybody's favorite part anyway. I mean, let's be honest. And so, the thing that I don't, it doesn't feel good to be like condescended to. That's how Uncut Gems felt. It felt like the Adam Sandler character was written like he's got his wife at home, he's got Idina Menzel, and they're like, I don't know if they're Orthodox or, but he's like a diamond merchant. It's like if you go to 47th Street, it's like that's the guy's down there. But then he's got his piece of ass who's like this blonde Aryan, you know, and he just treats her like she's an idiot. He just uses her for sex and her body and to sort of just like pleasure himself. And he's sort of good to her or whatever. Like she works for him, I think, and like maybe he gets her stuff and treats her nice and shit. But she's like the guma. She's the side piece. I don't know. It just felt, that's a little that's how they view the white people in this country. The Americans are sort of used to uh bodyguard and provide a partnership, you know. And I think a lot of, there is a lot of fucking rhetoric now about anti-Zionism and our tax dollars going to Israel and so it's it's a fucking complicated issue. And suddenly everybody's an expert. And if you're just looking at where we're at politically now and what's going on in fucking Colombia and Israel, Trump just comes out and says shit now. He's old. He's got no filter. He's fucking grandpa. He's grandma. He's batshit crazy. He's always been mean and has malignant narcissistic personality disorder, among other things. He's the biggest piece of I mean, Jeffrey Epstein said he was evil. Okay? It literally says that in the goddamn emails. That's Jeffrey Epstein. That's everybody's like most evil human being alive, right? Is Jeffrey Epstein. It's like he said Trump was evil. He knows some shit. He's got to die. He's got to die. I mean, that's why Trump killed him. I do think they killed him. I think or he's not dead. Maybe they fucking snuck him out. That's possible too. They snuck Maduro out. They snuck fucking Epstein's ass right out of the same jail. By now, it's like they probably got it down to a fucking process. They got Diddy, they got Mangione. New York is the place to be, okay? There's never been a hotter time to be in New York right now. We've got Mamdani, we've got Mangione, we got Diddy, Epstein died here, we got Maduro. Everybody's in New York, bro. Everybody. You got to get to New York. The Safdie brothers, the Sandman. I saw Chris Rock again on the street the other day. I'm writing this down for next. I should have said this last night. We got Maduro. Come on, everybody's here. This is the center of the fucking world. Like, please, like and subscribe. I'm working my ass off here. I think this has been one of my best lives recently. The secret is to start getting high at the beginning. Usually, when I start, I'm like already really high, and so my mind is already kind of scrambled and incoherent, tending toward incoherence. Um, we have been doing the open mic in the private curtain space downstairs. It's been fun. It's been a fun little vacation. I think it was definitely worth doing. Um, we had a much bigger turnout this time. That's the advantage of doing it downstairs is we can fit more people in the room, and so there's more room to grow. I love doing it in the upstairs, and I think it's important to keep doing something upstairs, and even if it's the open mic. But it's like it's nice to see that like there's a possibility in that other space too for something. It doesn't necessarily have to be the open mic, but honestly, I think there's room. They could do 2 fucking shows a week. They could do an upstairs and a downstairs, I think. To be honest, like I think the advantage of the downstairs is you can be louder and you could theoretically have more people playing. You got a keyboard, you got a drum set, you got a bass amp, you got a guitar amp. So it could be a different event, really. It could be more of like a jam or an open stage or like a karaoke slash, it could be an open mic too, and there could be readers and there could be, but it could be opened up maybe to bigger stuff. But the upstairs is also, um, an essential and magical and, like, uh, it's a home that we're happy to call home. So, it's just been fun to do this. And I get it probably for the audience. It's hard to tell because, to be honest, last night people stayed for a long time. I think people stayed later last night, honestly. More people stayed till probably 11:30. And it's a little awkward. It's not, like at the Red Room, you've got these confidential kind of booths and these kind of shay or whatever, a banquet, I guess you'd call that people really can settle in and have intimate dialogue while they're enjoying the show. And so for the audience, I think in for a long night, maybe that's, they can sort of come in and out, even though that's one room and it's not a huge room. So it's like there's not a whole lot of room for conversation. If the conversation gets loud, you definitely hear it on stage. So it's like I think it forces your focus a little more in the Red Room. It's a smaller room, it's a smaller stage, and so it's like it's obvious where the attention's going. The bigger room, like I said, I just think there's room to expand. Like generally most weeks in the red room, it's a standing room thing. We've got 30, 40 people in there, maybe more, for at least, and it's like, do people really want to stand by that bar for 2 hours, 3 hours, like, and just watch? It's like maybe they'll work their way into the banquettes, but otherwise, it's just like they're kind of standing there in a crowd. That's probably, there's an excitement to that, but that's not necessarily a longer term. The green room is nice for people, but the downstairs, I think once people sort of like start to, I don't, I, there's no reason to do it down there, really, unless we could just make a lot more money, which I think it's possible, with what we've seen last week. So last week, they wanted to be able to collect the money up front because they weren't sure if they would be able to maneuver and like charge people once they came in. And so they ticketed people at the door. They charged people $13 to get in, and that was their two-drink minimum. So it's like a lot of people, I think, left because they didn't want to pay a cover. They were confused. Is this a cover charge? What is this? And plus, it was, 2 days before New Year's Eve, literally. I mean, we were on Monday. New Year's Eve was Wednesday. It's after Christmas, before New Year's Eve. It's not necessarily a huge night. It's probably our slowest night of the year, to be honest. The 2 weeks around Christmas are probably our slowest nights of the entire year, or like, among them. Definitely the top five, let's say. Probably the slowest. And so we still did okay. It wasn't great, but there was probably only 25 people. It didn't look, I'm sure it didn't look that exciting when you saw the pictures. You thought, oh, that place is half full, like whatever. But every open mic we do is an ad for the next one, right? It's like we want to do a great show. We want people to have a great time. And even just doing this in the downstairs space is going to create a buzz. It's going to refresh people's idea of what it is. It's going to get people's attention, even if that attention is maneuvered, and we use it in the red room. It's like it's gonna, it's just gonna freshen things up a bit. That's not a bad thing. That's a good, doing it every week for, going on 4 years. It's like we're as successful as we've been. We're doing as much now as, in fact, we're doing better than ever. And like we definitely owe a lot of that to my man Jack, the bartender. But he took it to the next level. But like if we can get a lot of people in, we could maybe normalize making twice as much as we do now, possibly. I mean, on a weekend night, the fucking red room will make $4,000. Or like those events downstairs will make 3 grand. That's their target. Like the possibility is there, like the infrastructure is there to make that much money. And so I think on that ground floor, I think it oddly would like encourage people to come in and out and at their own kind of like comfort. Whereas like it's right off the stoop, it's right off the street. As soon as you come in, you can just go in, boom, the bar's right there. The thing is, you can't get into that room past the bar. So, like, we do have a choke point. So, last night, what we did was like, there was no ticketing. We just let people in, but they charged you as you came in. They charged you. They took your credit card, and you had to pay. And so it's like, we didn't have people that were just sneaking in, that were, not paying, that were taking advantage. I think that's people's perception of what happens at the open mic is it's just a bunch of deadbeats trying to sneak in and we're just being nice to them. And but it's not like that, like we talk about who spends money. We talk about what you buy because it matters. I hate to say it, but like if you spend more money, we definitely take that into consideration. And if you spend less money, we have to take that into consideration too. And like we can't just put people on that don't contribute anything, unfortunately. And we don't go out of our way to like screen everybody per se, but like we know what's going on in the room and like we get what we need out of people and they seem to be okay with it. It's like I said, it's we're about as strong as, we're doing well, thankfully, thank God. Um, but I would say even last night, that room, we probably got 50 or 60 people in that room comfortably. Whereas, like upstairs, once you hit 50, the thing is, the open mic is not really totally like, it's not like some DJ event where you can just cram that room full of people. It's like, it does require some focus and like people got to be quiet. There needs to be sight lines. People need to be able to get to the stage. We've definitely had people on the floor and shit before, but it's never been like shoulder to shoulder in the whole room like it can be in the red room if they get, something really chic and um so I think that downstairs it's like people got a little more elbow room. Like I said, I think as they experience it more, they'll find their own kind of like way of negotiating it that they feel good about. I like I said, I don't necessarily think this will be a long-term thing. It's fun to do now, and it would be fun to promote events there, not necessarily maybe an open mic per se, but like if we could do an offshoot or a best of the, do gig type things there, that could be uh an option. I don't know. I mean, it's the open mic regulars, a lot of them seem to be sort of negative about it. They don't like, I mean, people, we fear change. People don't like change. They're used to a certain thing. But, I've been doing this literally every week for over 3 fucking years. That's the nature of this thing, okay? People come and go. Bartenders come and go. Fucking regulars come and go. Like things change, like that's just you have to be able to and I think adaptation and expansion and things like that, it's worth exploring, and it's worth uh anytime something changes and is different and is new, people initially go, oh, we don't like this. We like it the old way. And the first week that was a little understandable because like the room is not packed. It's sort of half full. And so it just feels kind of dead in here. The experiences I've had, if you are in a room full of people, it feels exciting. And so we need as many bodies in that room. And I think we had a bigger audience last night. Like we had all of the performers, but like there was, it seemed like there were a lot more people that were just kind of checking it out, watching. People brought their friends. It at the very least, it's sort of reinvigorating and it's a treat for the regulars if they want to come out and it feels special. A lot of people, even though certain people don't like it, it's like a lot of people fucking think it's like, wow, this is amazing. This is unbelievable. Like, really? I get to perform in this huge fucking space with like a disco ball and chandeliers, and like there's a theater of people watching me, and like you just get a bigger sense of like you get a bigger audience. It feels like you're in a arena or something. It feels like you're in more of like a and so not that that's better or worse, but like it's not necessarily a bad thing to try both and to be used to do both to see what it's like, like it's just fun to play different venues. That's part of the thrill of being an entertainer. Is like going to new places and doing your thing in new rooms. And like I love the Red Room. Obviously, it's a magical place. And there's a compression to it that does make it feel like you're really cooking, the laughter is loud, whatever it is. It's a little more intimate. It's a cabaret, it's a small club. There is a beauty to that. But it's also nice to do something different for a second. It's not the end of the fucking world. I'm sure it'll go back. The only reason we're doing it is because the dishwasher in the Red Room is broken. Literally, if the dishwasher in the Red Room hadn't broke, this would not have even happened. We would have just been in the fucking Red Room again. It's like I'm there every week. You guys get to come and go. You guys get to leave for 6 months. I'm there every fucking week. And so I'm taking pictures. I'm trying to make it seem exciting and new, even though to most people it just feels like ancient fucking history or some kind of like stale thing they used to do or they'll never come back to. That's kind of depressing. It's depressing to feel like you're in everybody's rear view mirror and you're just like, but it's like I said, we always have new people coming in. It's like being a teacher or something. It's like there's a new class all the fucking time. And so I have to worry about hundreds of fucking people. I have to be considerate of hundreds of goddamn people, their time, whatever, when they sign up, whatever the hell it is. And certain people want special treatment or, it's like I have to consider the whole fucking thing. And that, and so the goal is to just keep it going, keep it as exciting as we can possibly make it. If we can make it some huge fucking smash that like literally 100 people come out to, they should. To me, this is like a showcase of New York and like world talent. If you're a cabaret performer, if you're an open mic musician, if you're a local musician, like this is a place where you come and you see the best writers, poets, people from MFA programs, eminent people that want to come in, slam people, New Eurekan people, Bowery Poetry Club people, people that are gonna be big. A lot of people get their start there. We had somebody last night, it was their first reading. And so, we have to like serve all of those people. We have to like help everybody. But it's a showcase of New York. It's like here's the Reader's Digest of like the real people trying to make it. These aren't established necessarily people. They're not already. It's not geese or something. It's people working on their art, and let's give them the biggest showcase we can give them. Let's give them the biggest platform we can give them. Let's get as many people together to see this. That's the point of doing it. If we can get 80 or 100 people to see it, and I think we could. I think it's sort of like it'll fill the container, whatever container you put it in. If we have a room that will fit 60 people comfortably, I mean, that's how it felt last night. There were people around the stage at sort of the cabana. It's sort of like being in a porno movie theater that's also like a meat packing uh like techno club. Or like not Laban. I don't want to say Laban. It's like being in a porno theater meets like or an off Broadway theater. That's how it feels to me. Is it feels like kind of an off Broadway. It's sort of a they were saying it's a little bit of an awkward space because it's like you've got these theater seats, but then you've got more like chaise lounge type area with like tables and sort of like a conversation pits or something near the stage. And so like if you're in a theater seat, it's like you're sitting there, you're kind of straight jacketed in like on a fucking airplane or something. It's like you got to get up, go past people if you want to get out. You're kind of locked in for the show, which honestly, I think that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like a show that like you sit and watch and take it in. And then maybe in the second half, that's when it kind of breaks more into like a group activity and kind of looser and okay, so last night it's like I got to juggle a lot of different personal situations. I won't name any names, but it's like I have uh, you know, certain people that got into an altercation with another person a few weeks ago, and they were all there. And so we sort of brokered a peace, I would say, in a way. I think that's good. I think it's good that people are able to come out and be face to face and just smooth things over. That's beautiful. And work it out amongst themselves. And but it's like for me, I don't know which way that situation's gonna go. And I have people running on stage. I'm in this new space. I want to do as well as we can do. Just if just to do it. It's an awesome opportunity, even if it's only a couple shows. It feels like being in a television studio. I felt like I was hosting fucking Jeopardy. It really felt like being in a TV studio, actually. That's what it feels like in there. The seats feel like, and then you've got this wide stage, which also feels like that's where they'd have the cameras and shit. So I think there's potential there for something, you know. Um, I don't get why people would be negative about it. I don't understand why everyone isn't just like thrilled. It's like, whoa, we get to be in this giant space that's like different and has like chandeliers and discos. Like, yeah, fuck yeah. There's a fucking drum set. Like I said, it might not, it's probably not going to last forever. So there's no reason to get all, you know, like upset about it. It's just like a couple years ago, the first year we did it over the holidays, we did the open mic in the second floor where all the readings typically are, right? And it was a huge success. In a certain way, I think that was the beginning of our thing, like getting really popular because people saw that and it caught people's eye to see us in that space doing comedy or doing music. They don't typically do that there. It's typically just readings, right? We had people playing guitar and shit. So it was kind of special to do that in there, in the actual KGB bar. And just, even that little bit of 2 weeks doing it down there created a little bit of a buzz and a little bit of a spark that kind of, erupted into a whole thing. And so, like I said, even if it's just an ad for further open mics to just catch people's eye and get people feeling FOMO, and they like to they got to get back. I had a lot of people cancel yesterday. A lot of people are sick right now, right? I had probably 10 fucking really good acts too cancel. They kicked out at the last minute because they all had the flu and stomach virus, or they were lying about it. But like a lot of people got sick. I don't know if that's from New Year's or maybe partying over the weekend, but I had, and it was still, we still had a full night and people that haven't been in a long time came back because they want to perform in that new room. Um, so I don't know. It doesn't hurt to have a little bit of a refresher. Make God knows doing this. Like I've had plenty of bad publicity and bad like reputational. Like my reputation is not good at all in any way. And the open mic's reputation, I think, in a certain way, is probably not what it could be because people just think, oh, it's for, I don't know, just lame, broke ass open mic people that, it's not cool. It's not, cool fucking dime square people. It's not, models any really. Um, and whatever. My whole personal situation plays into that too, obviously. And so, over the past month, I've been getting out more. I've been able to kind of freely do this. And so I've been lucky, did the silver juice thing on Sunday. So I was at Bowery Ballroom on stage. They had me there. They told me they needed to summon the poetic spirit of David Berman through incantation. Easy, right? Piece of cake. That's my job. And he said he wanted it to be loose. Thank you to Omkar for inviting us. And to Gate. This guy Gate does it every year. He was David Berman's roommate in college. And he was in the band in the 90s, I think. So he jammed with David Berman and knew him. And so I've been really honored. I've done this the last 2 years. I've been really honored to do it because like I said, I love David Berman. I have for a long time. And it feels special to me to be able to do it. And so I didn't want to prepare too much. I had a poem I wanted to read. I think I'm going to read it on this. I had a poem that was like, oh, this will be good. It's not like necessarily perfect, but like it would have done the job. And so I was like, oh, cool. I'll get to read a poem at this. But no, they wanted me to improvise and be a freak. Like always. They just want me to go up and be a fucking maniac. But that's my job. It's my job. Because it's my job. And so I didn't want to prepare too much, and I had I don't know, what am I supposed to do? I have to bless these Hot Wheels, right? Because he had these Hot Wheels that he would give to people. So it's my job to be like, I don't know, the rabbi or the Catholic priest, I guess, of the David Berman Silver Jews. I do think the term Jew is like a slur. I will not say the word Jew personally. It feels like saying black or something. It's like it's too harsh. I say Jewish or I won't say Jew. Like, oh, this guy's a Jew. It just sounds hateful to me. Like saying, oh, he's a black. It's like you can't say that. I'm sorry. So I don't really say the word Jew, even though I'm saying it now. Um, I really don't say it. It's a rule I have. To my Jewish friends out there, I want you to know, l'chaim, okay? I got some shpilkus in my what is he saying? Fucking Best in Show, that Ed Begley character. He's got this whole like Hebrew. It's hilarious. A sugar. So anyway, I don't know how I ended up in this position. I'm the single freak in New York that can be the. Who else would they get it? I mean, so I got to bless these Hot Wheels. What would you do? And you have to improvise it off the cuff. Well, I thought, maybe I should do some kind of like hum, some kind of like chanting thing. it could have been a disaster. But in my head, I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna throw out some kind of word salad of a bunch of like things about David Berman that are sort of a collage of his influence, and because to me, it's like he's so thematic, and like I said, through his poems, he actually and his songs, portrayed the American landscape. Community college in the rain, or government lake, or he's always talking about the county registrar, or these small kind of menthol mountains, margaritas at the mall, like it's all in there. Snow is falling in Manhattan, it's like he's got college football, he drinks beer, like he's a state school kind of guy in a way. Or at least he understands that side of things. He lived in New York, he lived in Greenpoint, he lived in Jersey, he worked the frick, so like he saw, the kind of big capital city inner, elitist art world too. And he was able to, he went to Amherst, which is one of the best MFA programs. And you can see how influenced he is by James Tate. A lot of his stuff kind of has James Tate. It's about half James Tate. Well, I'd say it's about, it's half James Tate. There's a little bit of Ashbery in there. And then the rest is all David Berman. Or Russell Edson. I think he was into Russell Edson. This guy was saying that he was into Patricia Lockwood. David Berman was reading Patricia Lockwood. Do with that what you will. The poet laureate of Twitter. He may have been on Twitter. I'm not sure. He was definitely on Menthol Mountains. I encourage people to check out Menthol Mountains. And he had some kind of Google. Somebody sent me like a Google Drive of some kind of every kind of David Berman, like just kind of stray. There's a guy on Instagram, Secret Knowledge of Back Roads, that has a really good David Berman. It's like a comprehensive. There's a lot of stuff actually. There's a lot of video. You'd be surprised. He really accomplished a lot. I mean, I would say David Berman is maybe the most respected, like consensus recent poet of the last, 25, 30 years in this country, that's like popular, known, but also like, you can actually consider him like a real poet. He could stand alone, and what he did, I think, was kind of an important step in the contemporary. He wrote from Gen X culture, and he wrote with a style that was developing. Um, it wasn't just some kind of postmodern cop out. He wasn't Kenneth Goldsmith or Flarf. Did David Berman do Flarf at all? He did draw cartoons, which are excellent. But I think his poetry actually was like kind of a significant, because he's sort of casual in a way, but it's free verse, I guess you'd say, but there is structure, there is reinforcement to everything. It's mind blowing, it's profound, but he's also just like a landscape painter, and he gets a lot of material in there. Smith and Jones forever. He captures that the dying kind of hipster America of trucker hats and dive bars and lo-fi music. Johnny Paycheck, the old violin. So I had a minute and a half to summon David Berman's poetic spirit through incantation. Piece of cake. I'm your man, okay? If you need somebody to summon David Berman's poetic spirit, or maybe some other people's poetic spirits, in a minute and a half or less at the Bowery Ballroom in front of 100 people, or a couple hundred people, I think I did an okay job. Well, I wasn't sure if he was going to bring me back up at the end because I was supposed to do in a minute and a half at the end, and then I don't know, some things changed, and so the scheduling kind of was rearranged a little bit. And so as I did pretty good the first time because I was ready and I kind of just went for it. But my thing on stage right now is just like run my mouth as fast as possible and just like try to get my ideas out as they happen. Hello, what's up? Oh, you're here. Okay, all right. I'll be right there. Okay, all right. Okay, goodbye. Okay, well, I guess that's it for today, everybody. The baby chicken has arrived. Unfortunately, that probably means the end of our podcast. Thank you for watching. I don't have any pants on, so you're gonna see my automobile boxer shorts.